I couldn't stay in the apartment. After hearing Elias's voice describe the blueprints growing inside his own skeleton, the very air in my office felt like it was being inhaled by the vents. I grabbed my laptop and drove until I reached a diner 3 towns over, somewhere with bright, buzzing fluorescent lights and too many people for anything to hide in the corners. On the server, tucked away in a deleted cache, I found a contact, Mrs. Gable. Apartment 4B. She was Elias's neighbor for 3 years. I called her from the diner, and after I mentioned Elias's name, the silence on the other end lasted so long I thought the line had gone dead. "I don't talk about that man," she finally whispered. "Not after what I saw in the hallway." I drove to her new home, a small, sun-drenched bungalow out in the desert. She refused to let me in. We talked through the screen door. She looked like a woman who hadn't slept since the day she moved out of the city. "Elias was a good neighbor at first," she said, her eyes darting to the shadows under my car. "Quiet, helpful. But in the last 6 months, he started changing shape. He wore these heavy, oversized coats, even in the middle of a July heat wave. He told me he was cold, but I could hear things moving under the fabric. Metallic things. Clicking things." She gripped the doorframe, her knuckles white. "The last night I saw him, the power went out in the whole building. I opened my door to check the breakers, and I saw Elias standing at the end of the hallway. He was facing the wall, just staring at it. I called out his name, and he turned around." Mrs. Gable stopped, her breath hitching in a sob. The light from my flashlight hit him. He wasn't just wearing a coat. His spine, it was protruding. But it wasn't bone. It looked like a series of copper pipes and jagged drywall screws. His skin was stretched so thin I could see the layout of a room etched into his back. He looked at me, and he didn't have eyes anymore. Just 2 dark, square holes, like windows into a vacant house. She told me that Elias didn't speak. He just pointed at the wall he had been staring at. She looked, and for a second, the wall wasn't there. There was just a vast, gray void that stretched on for miles, a labyrinth of unfinished rooms and empty staircases built entirely out of the static of a dead television. "He stepped into it," she whispered. "He didn't walk through a door. He just folded into the wall, like a piece of paper being tucked into a pocket. The wall closed up behind him, and the drywall was smooth again. No seams, no cracks. But I could hear him screaming from the other side. Not for help. He was screaming measurements." I thanked her and walked back to my car, my mind reeling. I opened my laptop and checked the server one more time. A new file had appeared in the _archive_01 folder. It was a photo taken 5 minutes ago. It wasn't taken in my apartment. It was a photo of me right now, sitting in my car at Mrs. Gable's curb. The camera angle was from inside the dashboard of my car. I looked at the dashboard. I looked at the plastic molding around the radio. There is no space in there for a camera. But on the screen, the brightness-filtered image showed a long, pale hand reaching out from the glove box, inches away from my knee. Mrs. Gable was right. It doesn't matter where I go. The digital inheritance isn't a collection of files. It's a blueprint that I've already downloaded into my life. The architecture is moving with me. I started the engine, but the GPS display didn't show the map. It showed the thermal filter from the Gloom_site program. There is a heat signature in the back seat. It's long, it's coiled, and it's expanding. In episode 5, The Gray Shapes, where you realize the corrupted data in the photos is actually a map of the entity's nervous system. To be continued.